all figured out, wouldn't you?
Don't, Fred. Please.
Take 3. You saw yourself as a rich young widow, didn't you?
No, Fred, no.
All right, drop it. Roll!
Okay. Come along.
Stand by for network.
That's it, Mr. Kerr.
All right for the advertising agency, Frank? Not bad. You think the sponsor liked it?
I don't know.
Thanks, boys.
How about the next show, George? What have you got?
George, I want to talk to you about that.
I have a plan that
Not now, Jim, not now. I'll call you first thing in the morning, Frank. I'm tired.
All right. How about some coffee?
No, thanks. I'll go upstairs and collect my wife and go home. But thanks just the same. Good night. So long. Take it with you. Look it over if you got a chance. Okay, Jim. Okay. Well?
Well, what?
You watched the show?
Most of it.
Too much effort to watch all of it?
I watched all of it last week and the week before that. You better put your coat on. It's chilly out.
What's gotten into you? Can't you watch a half-hour show? Is that too much to expect of you? I sweat blood down in that control room. Why? For me? No. For you.
Well, thanks a lot.
Joan, what's the matter?
You're tired, George. Can we please go home? Oh, George.
I'm sorry. I don't know what got into me.
No, you've been good to me. I have everything a woman could want, and the kids have everything they want. I should be happy, but...
But what, honey?
Well, I don't know. There was a time when we were two people together. You had wonderful creative ideas for the theater. I caught your enthusiasm, your excitement. Oh, those were good times, George. Every day was so important for both of us.
Television is different. It's an ulcer business. There's a crisis every 5 minutes.
Then why don't you get out of it?
What?
Well, if you're not happy in it, why do you stay?
Why? Because I'm making real important money. It's taken me years of effort to get here. You want me to toss it all over?
I guess you couldn't, could you?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Getting late.
Don't forget your pill. The sad spectacle of money, time, and talent being poured into television for such trash is made even sadder by the recollection of a younger George F. Carter. This younger Carter showed great promise in his imaginative productions of unusual off-Broadway plays. After viewing last night's shambles and bloodletting, one can't help but wonder what happened to that other George F. Carter.
What's your point? Audience ratings say that 14 million people watch my shows.
What did happen to that other George Carter?
He started to make some real money for the first time in his life.
Money.
Yes, money. Money. Is there anything wrong with it?
It's gotten you into a rut.
Will you stop needling me? You don't know what you're talking about.
Did you know what you were talking about last Thursday night?
What? What was last Thursday night?
We had dinner at the Lawsons. We met Father Keller of the Christopers.
Oh, yes, Father Keller. He's quite a guy. You know, he's got something there with that Christopher idea. Put worthwhile people into the jobs that count, and the world's got to improve.
He was talking about television, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Did you discuss your program with him?
With him, what for?
Well, because he knows how important television can be. He's devoted a whole chapter to it in his new book, Careers That Change Your World.
Did you leave that book on my desk in the office?
Well, yes, I did. I read it the day after we met him. Oh, it makes wonderful sense, George. I was hoping you'd read it, too, but I didn't dare suggest it. You don't seem to want to discuss things with me anymore.
You're talking like an infant.
Read the book, George.
Oh, please.
At least read the chapter on television.
All right.
And then call Father Keller and have a talk with him.
That's all I need.
Oh, call him, George. It's important to you and to me, too.
I won't be home for dinner tonight. Conference.
George, if you don't call him, it'll be because you haven't the courage. Because you prefer the comfort of your nice, cozy, upholstered rut.
Hiya, Jim.
Oh, good morning, George.
What can I do for you?
Just tell me we're doing this for our next show.
No can do.
What?
You don't go highbrow on a Coney Island midway. Anything else?
Yes. Hurts me when a critic can say this about you.
We don't produce shows for the critics. We do them for a mass audience. For review doesn't bother me any.
Bothers me because what he says is true. Television is giving showmen the biggest audience in the history of entertainment, bringing fine theater right into their homes. What a challenge to a young man. George, why can't you learn from my mistakes?
Your mistakes? What mistakes? You put on some fine theater in your day, Jim.
Sure, and I made money. I lived in great style. But that was expensive, so I started to produce shows just to make money. I tried to take from the theater without giving it anything in return. It's an old story, but nobody ever learns from it. I'll be in my office if you want me.
Frank Baker on 47.
Put him on. Frank, how are you, boy? Fine, fine. Next week's show, no. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'll tell you, Frank, I've got an original manuscript here which says a lot of vital things that people have forgotten.
Are you kidding? You know the audience. If you get too high class, they'll tune you right out. Entertainment, George. They want entertainment.
Yeah, Frank, well, don't you fret, fella. You know, Carter, I'll be in there with the dilly next week. Yeah. I'll check with you later, Frank. So long.
And this is the crew's overtime.
Not bad. Get me a complete breakdown on the show's cost, will you?
Right.
Father Keller of the Christopers.
Father Keller, it's good to see you again. I'm glad you were able to come today.
Good to see you too, Mr. Carter. Anything I can do for you?
You've been stirring up a lot of domestic difficulty for me, Father.
I have?
Yes, you wrote this book, didn't you? Careers That Change Your World?
Yes, I did. Did you get a chance to read any of it?
Only the chapter on television. What do you call it?
Reshaping the Future in Television. By the way, what did you think of it?
What you wrote may be a fond hope, but it's not television.
Well, I don't know about that. Everything I wrote about television I got from professionals, men like you.
There's a big gap between what people say about television and what they do on it. Father, television is millions of receivers in millions of homes. It's a mass medium. Sit down a minute. Let me tell you something. Here are some audience ratings. This is what they want. Violence, sex, more violence, more sex. That's what the public wants. I've got to give them run-of-the-mill shows, or I'll wind up in a studio talking to myself.
But don't you owe your audience something?
No, they're in on a pass. Anyone with a set gets a free show.
Would you say that your shows are worthwhile?
Not really. I can admit that to you in private.
But aren't there worthwhile programs on television that are successful?
Sometimes.
Well, why don't you increase that number? You have the talent to produce good shows. Why don't you?
Because it's not easy. If you reach too high, you may fall flat on your face. Why should I take that risk when I can make money doing the shows I'm doing?
Are you the George Carter I met last week at a dinner?
What do you mean?
What is a Christopher, you asked me? I described him as a Christ-bearer, a person determined to make his influence for good felt in the fields that affect the destiny of everybody. We had a lively discussion. You thought it was a wonderful idea.
I still do. I admire idealism. But television is a business, a marketplace.
Every field that affects the destiny of people is a marketplace, Mr. Carter. Education, government, communications, labor relations, they're the most important. In the Christopher approach, we emphasize personal responsibility to the very fields that you call the marketplace. Each one is free to do as much or as little as he likes in making the world better for his being in it. It couldn't be simpler. No memberships, no meetings, no dues. You, in your own way, could do much to make television better for your being in it.
I can see a Christopher functioning in every field but television. If I tried to ram something down their throats, even if it had a worthwhile message, there's such a long chain of command. So many people in authority with different tastes and backgrounds. I could never get it by all of them. That's why I don't even try.
That's not the reason.
No, what is?
You're afraid.
Me afraid? What should I be afraid of? Why, I'm one of the top producers with the highest ratings.
Frank Baker on 47.
Yes, Frank. Think she's still a star, huh? No, I won't give her the right to approve script. Because I haven't got a script yet, that's why. Let her take the other... I'll make the decision on the script when I'm ready. Everybody has an angle. Everybody puts the pressure on.
You're busy now. Perhaps we can talk later.
This goes on all the time. That's what you have to go through to put on a television show. Even a trashy one. Well, the man wants a script. Which shall it be? One's as bad as the other. This one's hard-boiled and got a lot of zing to it. This one's got a strong sex angle, and this one, think a little bit, got a lot of laughs. Which shall I choose?
Is your choice limited to these three?
This script says a lot of things that people ought to hear. I'd love to do it.
Well, why don't you?
Because I guess you're right. I am afraid.
The only fear you should have is not living up to the best that's in you. The artist in television is a guest in the homes of his audience. He's actually invited into the living rooms of millions of American families. That's quite an honor, and quite a responsibility, too. If we could only realize what a tremendous force television can be if we use it as God intended it, for the benefit of everybody.
What can I do? I'm only a small cog in a huge machine.
Just one person like yourself can start things rolling, can start a trend for the better. If you really put your heart and soul into it, you can do much to provide the public with the programs it really wants and deserves. Why don't you give it a try?
Father, you're a profound optimist.
Perhaps, but a man can accomplish so much once he realizes that it is better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. think it over. God bless you, Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Father. What's the matter?
He's going to shoot me. He thinks I want his money. But I don't, Daddy. I don't.
Nobody's going to hurt you. You just had a bad dream.
No temperature.
Just a nightmare.
No, it wasn't, Daddy. He had a gun, and he wanted to shoot me.
Who did?
Man,
Where is he?
I don't know.
You see, he's not here because he was only in your dream. Isn't that so?
Yes.
Well, now you go back to sleep and have a good dream about cakes with icing, and ice cream sodas, and sundaes. But don't have a tummy ache. Okay?
Okay.
You all right now, darling?
Yes, Mommy.
That's good. Now you try to go to sleep. God bless you. Night.
Boy, that was a Lulu. She never had a dream like that before.
She stays up later now.
What's that got to do with it?
She can watch your show.
Now, you're not going to give me that phony psychological routine about what my show does to kids.
Didn't you recognize that dream?
Should I have?
Yes, it was Two in a Shadow, the story you did last night. You're burning your fingers.
Yes? Frank? I said I'd call you when I decided on the script for the next show. Well, I've just decided.
Anything you pick is okay with us, George.
Fine. Because I'm going to do that important play that I talked to you about this morning.
Anything you want, George.
Really? You were so dead set against it this morning.
Well, George, I might as well tell you now. The sponsor is not picking up the option on the program. Your next show will be your last.
What? But they can't do that. My show has one of the highest ratings on the air.
Yes, but... Well, I've just come from a session with the sponsor, and he wants to build a new show. A musical with big names. Look, George, why don't we get some sleep? Talk about it in the morning.
Sure.
You're going to do a really good play?
Yes. But it's the last I'll do on this show.
Then make it the best, darling, like only you can do it. Show them.
Just a minute, everybody. Hold it. I just want to say, before we go on, I know how tough it's been to do a complicated job like this in the time we had. Every one of you has done a magnificent job. From the bottom of my heart, thanks. God bless you. Be sure you watch the timing on the store scene. Drag out too long.
Control room A.
Careful of it now.
Thanks. Mr. Carter.
Yeah.
There's a Father Keller outside in the studio to see you.
Father Keller, I hope you didn't mind my asking you to come back tonight. I'm going out in a burst of glory, and I wanted you to be here.
Then you chose the fourth script.
Yes, I decided. It's an original script about a man with a real Christopher purpose, Abraham Lincoln. I never worked so hard on any show in all my life.
Then I know it'll be good.
Mr. Carter, we're ready for you in the control room.
Coming!
Do you know what the cuts are yet? Ask John yet.
There's a seat up there for you, Father. Joan, take care of him, will you?
Father Keller, good to see you again.
Camera one, in position, please, for the opening shot. Here's the set, please. If you have to move around, do it quietly.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Music. Fade in title. Out to 2. Out to 3. Take 1.
Mr. Lincoln's simple and logical presentation of his client's case must have made a strong impression on the jury. For the jurors deliberated for only a very few minutes and returned with a verdict of not guilty.
Well, that's Abe for you.
Yes, he's rough-grained, and he can
Get
be,
the mic in a little closer.
but I think we'll be hearing more of our young Mr. Lincoln, Nancy.
Camera 2. Set up for Bowling Green close-up.
Doesn't make sense.
Facts, Nancy. These are facts.
I mean,
Music.
that's awkward. We'll be late. I'll never forgive myself if we miss him.
Calm yourself, my dear.
Position for the final Lincoln speech.
Oh, trainman. Trainman.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
From what track does Mr. President Lincoln's train leave?
Track 11. Better hurry if you want to see him.
Take 1 and hold it.
My friends, no one who's not in my situation can appreciate my feeling of sadness of parting at this place and from the kindness of these people to whom I owe everything. I now leave, not knowing whether or whenever I may return, with a task before me greater than that which rested upon Washington. Without the assistance of the divine being, I cannot succeed. With his assistance, I cannot fail.
Music.
To his care, commend me. As I hope in your prayers you will commend me, I bid you an affectionate farewell.
Dog's title.
That's it, Mr. Carter.
Control room A. Just a moment. For you, Mr. Baker.
Hello? Yes? Oh. Well, he's right here. Wouldn't you like to tell him yourself? Just a moment. Sponsor.
Carter speaking. Well, thank you, sir. I'm glad you liked it. You want to continue with this program? I'm sorry, sir. I've changed my mind. I don't want to do the kind of shows we've been doing, but thanks anyway. Like tonight's play? You mean as a regular policy? Yes, sir. That would make me very happy, sir. Thank you. We'll start first thing in the morning. Good night.
George!
Hi, I'm Gil Fates, an actual television producer. You know, the Christopers do more than just remind those already in television how important each one of them can be. Television is expanding. Thousands of new jobs are opening up. Who will fill them? I'd like you to meet a few people who help prepare the programs which go into millions of homes. Each one of them feels that his efforts in television can make the difference between what is debasing and what is elevating.
As a director, my job is to take a script and, with actors, translate these pages into a worthwhile experience we can share with our audience. But I can't do it alone. It takes a big team. Cameramen, writers, technicians. We want to create worthwhile programs. And when we discover someone with sound training and real talent who wants to make the world a better place for his having been in it, we believe it's cause for celebration.
It's an exciting challenge to a writer to work with a production team that understands the value of writing that is meaningful as well as entertaining.
I'm just a small cog in this big machine, but the others depend upon me and ask for my suggestions. Sometimes they even use one of them. When we've done a particularly good program, there's satisfaction in knowing that I, in my small way, have helped to make it a good show.
There's more to lighting a show than just pulling a switch. When we put on new men in my department, I try to find men who not only have the skill and the training, but the imagination. And what's important, the spirit necessary to lick the many problems we come up against.
We at the advertising agency try to create programs that satisfy you. The sponsor who pays for the programs wants to satisfy you. If the people attracted to television jobs and advertising agencies have a spiritual purpose, we will be better able to make television a force for good.
Well, there you have it. If television isn't what it should be, make it better. For young people there, God gave us the miracle of television to use for good. What you make it.
For free literature, 28th Street, New York 17, New York.